Assalamualaikum and a good day. I greet to the viewer of this video. My name is Umi Salama Amanda binti Abdul Rahim, matrix number 01DDT20F1090. I am me with my team members will present about mini project for the course of Python programming. The content of our presentation for our mini project presentation is as shown on the slide. The first one it will be the introduction of the project, the GUI interface next, and followed by database structure, and lastly we will also present about the codes that we use to develop this program. This is the introduction of our system. So our mini project is about food bank management system, which is a system developed to keep track of the inventory of the amount of item or food bought and that the food that has been distributed by our user to its receiver. So this is the GUI interface for our system, our program. This is the first window that will greet the user. The first window includes the label that acts as the title of the page or the system, which is the food management system, and here we ask for the user to enter the username and password, as seen here is admin and hello, and then we have button which has text login, and the function of the button is that when we click on the button it will check whether the username and the interface is the username and the password is the right one that the user has entered. If it is the right one, then a label will be shown here saying the login is successful, and the exit button is to exit the window itself. And then with the click of the button login, this window, the order management window, will also appear, which user can enter the order number, supplier name, item quantity in the order management system. And the order management system has two buttons, which is submit and close. The close is for closing the page itself. The submit button is used to receive the input that the user has already input into the entry and will be sent into the database, and also would execute the coding that will put all the information inside the file. And the last page will be invoice page, which will be displaying the input that the user has entered on the management page, with a label that say thank you, and the close button when click will close the window itself. The total amount here will display the total amount price, or the total price of the item times quantity. So this is the coding for the GUI. We import tkinter_all and tkinter_message_box. This is the declaration for the main window. This is the function that is used for the button login, which has the selection for username and password. And when both is right, it will go into this part of the coding, which is the declaration for the second window, which is the order window. And then this is the declaration of the label, the title of the page, and then this is the part, the declaration of coding, which is the part that user could enter the information of the item. So this is the continuation of the part, the item, the coding for the entry to receive the user input. And then we have another level that show the status of the item, of the information that the user has already input into the program. And then there's two buttons, we declare two buttons, which is button submit and button close. that has the command of submit, which is, as you can see here, this part, this function. And then we have button for close, which is has this command to destroy the order window. And then else, if the username and the password is wrong, it will pop up a message box that shows invalid login, please try again. And then this is the function for the command submit that declare the invoice window. And then we declare some other things inside the window itself. Here we declare how to get the total, and then this is the label as the header of the page. And then this is more, the label part, to get the user input, not to get to display the information that the user have input. And then there's a label that's saying thank you, and then there's a button for close, which is to destroy the invoice window. And then we return all of this so that it could show on the page. And then this is the label for the main page, the first page that we saw. Here we declare all of the variable that we use as as the type of the data that it is, which is, as for example, username, we use stringval, and so on. And then this is the declaration for the label and entry for the system to receive username and password that the user input into, so that we could check whether the username or the password is right when the user click the button login. And then we have another button, which is button exit, that has the command to destroy the main window. And then we use main loop so that the window would still be there.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Amir Ehsan. So I will continue for this part, which is database structure in MySQL Workbench. Okay, first, as we can see over here, this is the first part, which is to declare the database connection. So MyDB equal mysql.connector.connect. So for the host is set to localhost, user set to root, ROOT, password is set to Hakim 910. So the database we set to foodbank. So settle for the first part. Okay, we move on to the second part, which is the coding for the function. So my cursor equal mydb.cursor. So these two part over here that has been comment out is first is create database foodbank, which is we already created. So the second is create table list order. So for create table list order, which is we have created. That's why we comment over here. So create table list order. There is order number, supplier name, item name, item number, item price, and also total. And then we move on to SQL part. So SQL part is insert into list order, which is the table name. So insert into list order, order number, supplier name, and etc. So values is set to this one. Okay, so for the val equal to order number dot get, supplier number dot get, supplier name dot get, sorry, item name dot get, item number dot get, item price dot get, and last total dot get. So and then my cursor dot execute in column SQL file, my cursor dot close, and my db dot commit. So the status when we execute this function, status is set to data added successfully. So my cursor dot execute select star from this order, which is the name of the table. and last is my result equal my cursor dot fetch all. So finish for the second part. So the third part is this one, which is the for inside the MySQL workbench. So show database, use food bank, show tables, and select star from. So the select star is supposed to display all the data inside the table, but unfortunately for my part, um, the data cannot be displayed, but eventually the table is still over here. So that's all for my part. Continue with my friend.
Hi, my name is Irfan. I'm going to continue with codes for every function. First section is for file handling. For the first function, it is write. In this function, there are string tags which to update the list for the student who received the food. And then we have of file equal to open rlist.txt append to open the rlist.txt file, and then we append it to after we input the user data, we will insert again at the same file. But first, if we try to do the action, the file will be created, and then of file.write to write a string text into the file that we target, and then looping. We use the variable loop equal to int input. Please enter the number of student information to be update. Then we use for I in range to implement the use of looping. And then we have to input the data into the file by declare of file.write stri of file.write start name of file.write group of file.write id number and of file.write gender. And last but not least is of file.write to make a space at the file. And then we also implement exception handling. We try to open the detail.document, and then in it also have a file exception again of file.write. This is where all the details go. So if the details.doc is exists, so it will output. This is where all the details go. But if the detail.doc doesn't have at our destination for file that we create, it will output sorry cannot write because the file doesn't exist. Finally is to whether the code is have an error or not, it will output the test is complete, and then except print can open the file because the file is not created. Next, we proceed with def food function. Here we also have a string text which contain about. Here you can update the food list that is received by the student. Then we open the flist.xls and the action is append. At here, the f.list.xls is for file spreadsheet. Then we write a data into the file by declare of file.write, and then the string text we insert index type, food name, price, quantity, and total amount. Then we also have a loop, and then we try to insert a data from user input into the file by declare all the variable that we use. And then we have def distribute function. At here is for edit the day of the student that receive food what group receive it, and if there are students who have allergies. And here we open distribution.doc file, and then for its action is write. Then we also have a looping, which for loop 5 times, and then we insert the data from user input by declare its variable, and send the data by declare of file.write, then its variable name. Next, class display. At here, class display, we have receiver, food, distribution, for function. At receiver, we try to open r.list.txt, and the action is read. Then food, open f list.xls, read, and distribution is open distribution.doc, and the action is read. This is to make sure when we run the coding, the output will show the data from the file that we target. Then we proceed with menu. Okay, at here the menu is for the file handling. Okay, moreover, we proceed with GUI, which stands for Graphical User Interface. The window name that we create is main window. Then geometry is for message text box, and the name for the window is Food Bank Management System. Then we connect to database by declare mydb equal to mysql.connector.connect. Then in it, we must make sure to have host user password database to connect to the database and the account that we have. After that, dev login. This is for menu for GUI, our GUI, and submit is for insert data from user input into the window that we target. That's only for our code. Okay, so let's go to run our code. Okay, first it will show menu for our file handling. And then we have an option. There is 4 options, whether to edit receiver list, edit food list, edit distribution list, and view all list. We already do the 3, so we just proceed with the view all list. Okay, so I am going to try to open these 3 files, which is receiver list, food list, and distribution list. Receiver list. For our receiver list, there is student name, group, ID number, gender, allergies, and index. Index is for the loop, for the number of loop. Start name, we have Anas and Jarjit. Group, form 2, form 3, ID number F02 and F03, gender, all of it is male. And allergies for Anas is no, and Jarjit is allergy with fish. You want to open other file? Yes. Next is for food list. Food list, we have drinks, food name, price, quantity, and total amount. Okay, this is all the data that we already create. And then we want to try to open another file. Distribution list. Okay, for distribution list, we have days, receiving group, and allergies. Okay, because of the days of school, which consists only for 5 days. So we create the code only for 5 days, which is Monday until Friday. And on each day, only one group from each form. Okay, so I doesn't want to open other files, so I click no. I click N, and I doesn't want to proceed with other choice. So N again for no. Okay, then this is for the GUI menu. The username is admin and the password is 1234. So we log in and then it's shown order management page. For order number, I want to insert 1 because it is for the first data. Supplier name is Ahmad. Item name is bread. And its quantity is 1 only because for 1 person and the price is 2.50, 2 ringgit 50 cent. Then we submit. Okay, at here it will show invoice page. After we click the submit button, in the invoice page we have the data that we already insert from the order management page, which for order number, supplier name, item quantity, total price, and total amount. Then thank you. That's only from our group. Thank you.